Well, welcome everybody. It's very good to have everybody with us here this evening, and I'm going to do a quick introduction to our Learning with Design and Leadership program for people who are interested in joining us. I'm going to start the session with a quick bit with today's news, and today's news is that our program was ranked number 5 in the big wide world of educational technology programs. So here we are, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. So this is a great achievement and an accolade for all the people who are involved in the program. My name is Bill Cope, and you'll find the program here on our website, a description of the program. I'm the program coordinator, and the program has 3 parts. It has a part which is called New Learning, a part which is called Technology Specialist, and the Learning in Higher Education part. And the names of these are going to slightly change next year, but it's basically the same program that's continuing. This is for K-12 teachers. This is for K-12 teachers who want a specifically Illinois Tech Specialist endorsement. And this is if you're working in other areas like higher education or workplaces or adult education or community college, those kinds of areas. So that gives you a little bit of an overview of the program, and what we'll do is we'll send everybody, well, presumably you know that that's where it is because you found out about the program. The other thing we're going to do is very quickly run through the courses. By the way, I want to also introduce Adam Rush, who's with me here. Hello. He's the teaching assistant that works with me in these courses. So we're juggling multiple screens here. So I can email anybody who would like it a copy of this program. This is a little overview of what's going to happen over the next couple of years. What we have in the program is an overview course, which is called 431, and these are links to the actual courses. I'm going to go through each of the courses now, but what's required is the overview course plus an Ed-Psych Foundations course plus a Social Foundations course, and then for the master's degree, any 5 of these. The ones that are asterisks are the technology endorsements, and we also offer it as a certificate if you want to do just 4 courses out of the whole program. Okay, and these are the courses. I'm afraid this is a bit of a dull file, I'm afraid, but I'll run through it quickly. New Learning is the overview course, which talks about, okay, you know, education's changing in these quite dramatic ways. What are we going to do about it? E-learning ecologies talks about the specific ways in which these e-learning environments, what are the dynamics of e-learning environments, be it blended learning environments of using e-learning in a traditional classroom, or if it's purely online learning. Now, EPS 415 is the social foundations requirement, and that's taught by Professor Babulis, who's one of the leading experts in the world in this area. I might say one of the great things about this program is that, you know, this is a Research One university, and the people teaching in the program are people who are, you know, we do research in this area, and it's you know, with the professors who've been doing this for a long time, who are kind of experts in our field, if I can say a few words about ourselves. I teach this Introduction to Ed-Psych course here, EPSY 408, which is an introduction to all the psych theories in this area. And then we offer an Educational Technologies course and a New Media course simultaneously. You can take either of those. Then Professor David Wang offers this 585 course as well. Then following on from that, I offer an assessment course or a mobile learning course. You can take either of those. And then those things are repeated. So this is a kind of an introduction to the courses, and it really tells you what courses we've got on offer for the next 2 years. But you can also, outside of the compulsory courses, you can take any other online course that's offered. So this is just more or less a series of guidelines about what the possibilities are. So I'm very happy to email it to anybody who's interested. if you want to see the details of the program any further. However, when I go back to now, and I will do that, when I go back to start sharing, and I go here, Blackboard, Firefox, and I go share. This information is all on the website as well. So, all right, so does anybody, I'm going to get into now, show you some examples of what our students do and the kind of work they do and the kind of conversations we have and the way we work. But does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask in the interim? If you do, just type them into the chat box. Okay, and by the way, we're recording this session. About 25 people registered, actually. Not everybody was able to be here, so we're going to send a recording of this on to the people who were unable to attend even though they registered. Okay, so the next link here is, this is my website, which has all the material in it related to the course. It's actually just my professional website and the professional website of Mary Calancis as well. And there's a pile of resources in here. If you go over to here, this is a little introduction to who we are, a little bit of a background to Mary and to me. And these are the different areas of research. We have a book about new learning with a whole pile of resources in there, a book about literacy with a whole pile of resources. And this gives you a little bit of an idea, a whole pile of videos around e-learning, which we use in the course. This is a kind of, if you like, our resource site. And I really encourage people to go and look around this. Easy URL to remember, newlearningonline.com. So I really encourage people to go and find out a little bit more about who we are and what it is that we do. Okay, the platform that we mostly use for this course is a platform called Scholar. We've been very, very fortunate over the past 4 or 5 years to get some big grants from the US Department of Education and from the Gates Foundation to build out Scholar. So not only do we do research and do we write about these new media environments and new learning environments and e-learning ecologies, but we also practice what we preach. We've been building this environment called Scholar, and in fact it's the environment that we use for the course. What I'm going to do is very briefly show you, or in fact the course, all the courses, the program. I'm going to show you, no, Amanda, there's not a culminating project. What there is there's 8 courses in the program, the master's program. What you can do is you can do an independent study, which is the equivalent of a project. So you can do that if you choose, or you can just take the 8 courses. But the independent study option there is open all the time. Okay, so back to Scholar. When I go to log in now, in fact, when everybody logs in, what they find is they find a page which looks a little bit like a social media site. In fact, it's modeled on a lot of social media sites. This, I happen to have just logged into my page. These are the communities that I belong to, which include my various courses. And I don't have friends or followers, I have peers. And this is an activity stream. It's all the stuff that's happening with my communities in my courses, amongst my peers. This is my activity stream. And if I go now into one of these courses, which is a course that I just finished, one of my communities, I'm now going to go into that. This shows you actually what the classroom conversations look like in one of the courses. In fact, this is a course which finished just a few weeks ago. So here we have our community admins. There am I. This is Adam, who's a community admin and a TA, and so is Sama. And we've got a couple of researchers who are working in this space as well. And there were a number of members in the group. And this is all the conversations, all the activities that are going on in the course. This is, if you like, a record of all our class discussions, all our asynchronous discussions. And by the way, we meet once a week as well, and we continue talking with voice once a week around these topics. And if I go into any one of these now, so let's go into, say, this one here. This shows you what one of these conversations is like. It's a cross between a blog and a social media feed. So you can see here Megan made a comment, is memorization useful? And there's a whole important conversation going on here about that topic of memorization that Megan brought up. So that's the way in which we do classroom conversations. Now, as I said, everybody here has their own personal profile page. So this is one of our current students, Stacey Larson. This is her profile page. And in fact, these are the communities that she's belonged to, all the courses she's done. And if I go into her publications here, in fact, she's been developing, if you like, a kind of professional profile, all the work she's been doing in the course. And by the way, she can, if she wishes, make this public. So if she's going for a job somewhere, she can make this public if she wishes. And let me show you an example of the really beautiful work that some of our students are doing. So this is a new learning project where she is talking about metacognition. And unlike, the conventional essay where you email in a Word file, in Scholar you can build this out as a really very simple tools to build it out as a beautiful web page. So if you can see here, she's got in diagrams, she's got lots of links to the things that she's talking about. Tables, and look what she's been able to do. She's talking about metacognition, but she's actually able to show a little example of her talking about metacognition in her classroom with her students. I'll just play a second of it. Now, I'm not sure where that audio is coming through, but the audio is there. There she is talking to her class now. So these are, I'll just stop it now. These are multimodal texts that students are producing, where she's got examples of her students' work in there, things the students have written, and so on. And this gives you a little idea of the kinds of really beautiful work that people are able to do in this course. Now, where they do that is they do it in this space called Creator, which is another tab here in Scholar. So we were just in the community space now, but now I've moved over to the Creator space. And this is a space where with this very, very simple edit toolbar, you can actually build a multimodal text where this includes images and video and audio and any other file that you want to include, all included in live. Now, the other crucial aspect of this space, I'm going to take you into now another student's work in this space. Here's a view-only version of one student's work. You can see here where he's included all sorts of interesting media. Is that while you're writing, there's a kind of an assessment rubric which sits beside the work that you're doing. And to do a review, by the way, you get to do review other people's work, peer review. You just pull this little slider across, you work out what a 2 means or a 3 means, you write a little comment. So it's about giving and receiving feedback. And usually it's anonymous, by and large, that's what people elect for it to be. Now I can see the names of the people, but here you can see here, this person's getting lots and lots of feedback from their peers about the work that they're doing, which helps them in the rewrite of their work. So this is a very, very collaborative knowledge space where people are helping each other all the time, not just with reviews, but also with annotations, which are detailed in-text comments. So see here, Jennifer thinks there should be a comment. Michelle thinks change the word, makes a suggestion. Different people are making all sorts of comments. You just mouse over the comment and you go to that point and getting lots of detailed feedback. In this case, I can see the name because I'm coordinating it. In this case, it was anonymous. So that gives you a little idea of the kinds of very supportive collaborative work that happens in this environment. So we're very much on about practicing what we preach, building online knowledge communities, and making those exciting and interesting places to work. So does anybody have any other questions about the way in which it works? I mean, this was meant to be just a pretty brief overview and a pretty brief introduction. Oh yes, now presentations, great, that's a good question, Amanda. What happens is when we come to do a presentation, what we do is we simply put this up on the screen. So there's no PowerPoint, It's simply speaking to your work, playing whatever content there is in the work, speaking to it. So, in fact, what we do is, while you're going through here, let's say if you are speaking, just in a general conversation with the class, we might bring up your profile page so we know who it is that's speaking, and but then when you speak to your work, we bring up this. Or if you speak to the topic you brought up in the community conversation, we bring that up as well. And often that includes media, it includes videos and all sorts of interesting content. So yeah, the classes are, that's right, as Adam says, once a week, 90 minutes. If you can't make it for some reason, they're recorded, so it's not the end of the world, and you can pick up the recording later on. So any other questions, folks? Yes, mostly it's one course at a time. So you need to do 8 courses in total. We offer 6 courses in a calendar year, so we do 2 in the spring semester, 2 over summer, 2 in the fall semester. You can skip a semester if you want to, but also you can do an independent study at the same time as a course. So if you want to really knock it over quickly and do a course at the same time, or take a different course, that's open to you as well. There's a great deal of flexibility in the way the program's offered. Any other questions, folks?
Yes, no instructions on the projects.
Yeah, no, so the instruction, we do offer detailed instructions with the projects, which is what the project's about. We discuss it in class, it's posted to people, and then there's a rubric, which are the review criteria, which the peer review criteria, which you see while you're writing. So if I go back to here, no, I'm going to go back to here, see here that while you're writing, you get to see the rubric. So if you like, you know, this tells you what it is that you're needing to address to do a good piece of work. So any other questions, folks? No, the price actually doesn't vary. Our price is the bottom price. I think I'm right about that. Am I right about that, Adam? I'm not
sure. I think it depends on how you are classified as a student. That's a question that we wouldn't be able to answer necessarily tonight. You might have to talk with the admissions office about that.
Actually, Georgianne, you're there. Do you know the answer to that question?
You know, I'm just training on the price, but yeah, I think you have to go through admissions to double check that. For the most part, the standard price, to my understanding, stays the same, but it could fluctuate in a given year, so we're always watching that. But definitely check with admissions.
Look, what we can do is let's look that up for you. I'm afraid that's just not. I don't quite know how that works. But look, let's look that up for you and get back to you. I'm pretty certain it's the lowest rate. But we need to check. Now, Christy, you had a good question that you're in a difficult time zone. The answer is if people are in a time zone which is too difficult, you can just listen to the recordings. I'm fine with that because a lot of the interactions is asynchronous dialogue that happens in Scholar. So to give you an example, in this the last course that we ran, that finished just a little while ago, we had one person in Hong Kong, and it worked out quite well. This was the next morning, and he was available. We had several people in Germany, and it was just a bad time zone shift for them, so they only listened to the recordings. So it's really up to you. It's better if you can be there in person, but it's not essential. Yes, Kim. Okay. It's geared not exclusively to K-12 teachers. So, for example, in this class now, we had a person from the US military who does training. We had an educational video maker. We had somebody who taught media at a community college. So we had a very broad, and matter of fact, we have somebody here from the University of Illinois who runs tech services in one of our colleges here. So we actually have a very nice range of people, and I actually value that range. It's incredibly helpful You know, it's an amazing insight for people to hear what people are doing in different areas. But the other thing is, even within the K-12 range, we have people teaching high school, we have early childhood educators who are working with little kids with apps, and it's just very, very, you know, it's very interesting for everybody to be part of those conversations. So the answer is, it's a good range of people. Yeah, and for me, that diversity is, I think everybody in the course regards that diversity as a virtue. It's a great learning experience to hear about what people are doing in other levels and sites of education. And that's part of the value of the course as far as I'm concerned. Okay, any other questions? Vis-a-vis books, I mean, there are a couple of books. You know, the only books that we recommend is if you want to know what Mary and my thinking is about things in the world, we put down as textbooks the two more recent books we created, one which is called New Learning, the other one's called Literacies. But they're really not essential. If something's essential, we upload the PDF into the community space. So if I go over here, I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll go into here. So this is EPS. See over here, this is the course syllabus, and I put a whole lot of readings here. So, you know, it's not essential to purchase anything. Yes, no, absolutely. So the book here is available in print as well. So we have those, the two books that we offer as textbooks. You can buy them at Amazon. Yeah, but you know, we don't want to make it essential for people to have to spend money on the book, but you know, it's there if you'd like to purchase it. Okay, any other questions? Oh yes, no, that's a great question. They don't have to be, but it's great if they are. So I mean, one of the really valuable things is most people are practicing professionals in this course. Not everybody. Some people are people who've taken time off because they're having families or they're not working at the moment. But often, by and large, people are practicing professionals in the classroom or, you know, in an ed tech company. We had a couple of people who work for ed tech companies. So it's great to connect the project with your actual schoolwork, the work you're actually doing in classrooms and educational settings. It's not essential. And I might say one thing I forgot to mention is that if people want to use Scholar with their students, we really encourage that. That's a great thing as well, and that's there, and we can support you to use it. That's another option. Yes, we transfer credits. So if you tell us what they are, we can actually offer courses for credit and, you know, check out what it is that you've done already. That's right, exactly. Christy, we in every course there's a practical side and a theoretical side, but also if you want to, we can offer an independent study, which is purely a kind of a research-based, project-based activity. We offer both those things. Yeah, we can do that, Kim. We'll contact you directly with all those details. No problems. Okay, they're all great questions. So are there any more questions? Oh, there you go. Adam's quick with these things. Any other questions? Okay, great. Well, look, that's wonderful. And as I say, we're going to send everybody a link to a recording of this session. So if you want to go back and go over it, you can. And the people who weren't able to attend, we'll send them all a link. So, all right, folks. Well, look, great to have spoken with you all this evening. You'd be very welcome to join our program. If you do put in an application, I'm looking forward to reviewing it. So, thanks very much, folks. See you then. Good night.